Picture this. You're swimming near the surface, and you see a clownfish darting around coral. Bright orange, friendly looking, maybe even cute. Now imagine diving deeper and deeper. At some point, something changes. The fish you encounter no longer look friendly. They have teeth that jut out like needles. Some have fins that look more like spindly legs. Their eyes bulge out of their heads, and their bodies seem to defy what a fish should look like. This is not a coincidence. This is evolution at work. The deeper you go, the stranger things get. And every single feature that makes these fish look like nightmares exists for one reason: survival. We're used to thinking about evolution in terms of beauty. Peacock feathers, butterfly wings. But down in the deep ocean, evolution doesn't care about looking good. It cares about staying alive. And when your world is pitch black, freezing cold, and crushing you with pressure that would flatten a car, you don't evolve to be pretty. You evolve to be efficient. You evolve to be terrifying. Let me give you an example. Near the surface, fish survive by being cute. The clownfish hides in anemones with bright warning colors. That's survival of the cutest. Now compare that to the stargazer fish. This thing buries itself in the sand with only its eyes and mouth showing. It has venomous spines and can deliver electric shocks. When prey swims overhead, it lunges up and swallows it whole. That is survival of the creepiest. And here's the thing. The stargazer isn't even that deep. So imagine what happens thousands of meters down, where there's no light at all, where food is so scarce, you might wait months between meals. The fish down there have evolved into something that barely looks like fish anymore. They look like aliens. But every horrifying feature is a solution to a problem. A brilliant, twisted solution. So that's what we're doing today. We're going down, layer by layer, zone by zone, and we're going to meet the creepiest fish on Earth and understand why they look the way they do. Let's start our descent. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. This is where sunlight starts to fade. Not gone completely, but fading fast. And this creates a very specific problem. If you're a fish down here, you can still be seen from below. Predators looking up can spot your silhouette against that dim glow from the surface. So how do you survive when you're basically a shadow waiting to be eaten? You cheat, you deceive, you become invisible. Let's start with the hatchetfish. This thing looks exactly like its name suggests. Flat, thin body shaped like a hatchet blade. But the really weird part is its eyes. They point straight up, permanently. The hatchetfish can't look forward or down. It only looks up because that's where danger comes from. That faint light above is where predators are silhouetted. So it watches, constantly scanning for shapes moving between it and the surface. But here's the genius part. The hatchetfish has its own problem. It also creates a silhouette. So it evolved bioluminescent organs on its underside. These organs glow just bright enough to match the light coming from above. It erases its own shadow. This is called counter-illumination, and it's basically active camouflage. From below, the hatchetfish just disappears into the background glow. Now let's talk about the viperfish. If the hatchetfish is playing defense, the viperfish is playing offense. This is an aggressive hunter, and it looks the part. Its teeth are massive compared to its body, so big that they don't fit inside its mouth. They stick out like needles even when the jaw is closed. When it attacks, it uses those teeth like a cage, trapping prey before swallowing it whole. But there's something else going on with the viperfish. Its body is coated in this mysterious gel. Scientists call it a hydrodynamic layer, and honestly, they're still figuring out exactly how it works. What they do know is that it reduces reflection. It makes the viperfish harder to see, and it seems to make the fish faster by reducing drag in the water. So this thing is basically a stealth missile with fangs. Then there's the Pacific black dragon, and this fish takes invisibility to another level entirely. Its skin is what scientists call ultra-black. It absorbs 99.95% of light, almost everything. The secret is in these microscopic structures called melanosomes. They're arranged in a specific pattern that traps light instead of reflecting it. So even if another fish shines bioluminescence directly at the black dragon, the light just vanishes. It's like trying to illuminate a black hole. This is the Twilight Zone, a place where survival means mastering light and shadow, where every fish is either trying to disappear or trying to spot something that's disappearing. It's a constant game of deception, and the stakes are life and death. But this is just the beginning, because we're about to go deeper, where the last bit of sunlight dies completely, and the strategies get even stranger. We've crossed into total darkness now. No sunlight reaches here, not even a hint. The only light down here comes from the creatures themselves, and the pressure is crushing. Literally thousands of pounds pressing down on every square inch. This is the Midnight Zone, and surviving here requires some truly bizarre adaptations. Let's start with the most famous one, the anglerfish. You've probably seen pictures. That terrifying face with the glowing lure dangling in front of it. That lure is called an esca, and it's filled with bioluminescent bacteria. The anglerfish waves it around like a fishing rod, and when something curious swims close, it strikes. But here's what most people don't know. Anglerfish are actually pretty small, and their teeth, while they look scary, are brittle and weak. They're not built to tear through flesh. They're built to trap. Once something is in that mouth, those teeth fold inward like a cage. The prey can't escape. But the idea that an anglerfish could hurt a human? That's pure myth. We're way too big. Down here, it's a lethal predator. Up here, it's fragile. Now meet the stoplight loosejaw. This fish has one of the strangest jaws in the ocean. The lower jaw isn't connected at all. It's completely detached from the skull. When prey comes near, that jaw drops down almost instantly, and the mouth becomes this massive trap. It swallows prey in a fraction of a second. Scientists call it the bear trap jaw, and it's horrifyingly efficient. But the loose jaw has another trick. Most bioluminescence down here is blue or green, but the loose jaw produces red light, and most deep-sea fish can't see red. So the loose jaw is basically using a sniper scope that only it can see. It illuminates prey without the prey even knowing they're being watched. Then it strikes from the darkness. And then there's the black swallower. This fish takes the concept of eating to an extreme. It can swallow prey twice its own length and 10 times its body weight. Its stomach expands like a balloon. The problem is, once it eats something that big, it becomes bloated and buoyant. It can't swim properly. It just floats there, vulnerable, sometimes for weeks while it digests. It's a survival strategy that works, but it comes with a serious cost. This is the Midnight Zone, where every meal might be your last for months, where hunting requires tricks that border on science fiction, and where the pressure to survive is as real as the pressure trying to crush you. But we're not done yet. We're going even deeper. We're now in the Abyssal Zone. The abyss. Most of the ocean floor sits at this depth, and the environment here is brutal. The pressure is unimaginable. The cold is intense, and food is so scarce that some fish down here go 6 months or more between meals. So the creatures that live here have stripped survival down to the absolute basics. No wasted energy, no unnecessary movement, just pure patient efficiency. Let's talk about the wonderfish. Its scientific name is Tromatithus, which literally translates to wounded fish. And when you see it, you understand why. This is a type of anglerfish, but it evolved differently. Most anglerfish dangle their glowing lure outside their mouths. The wonderfish moved its lure inside. It sits there in the darkness with its mouth wide open, and the lure glows from within like a trap waiting to spring. Prey swims toward the light, thinking it found food, and swims directly into the mouth. It's efficient, it's clever, and it saves energy because the fish barely has to move. Now picture this. You're on the seafloor. Pitch black. Freezing. And you see something standing. Not swimming, standing. That's the tripod fish. It has 3 fins that are reinforced with bone-like rays, and it uses them like stilts. It plants itself on the ocean floor and just waits, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. Its other fins are spread out like sensors, feeling for vibrations in the water. When something edible drifts by, it strikes. But otherwise, it's completely still. A living tripod in the abyss. But here's the saddest part about the tripod fish. It's a hermaphrodite. It has both male and female organs. And the reason is simple. Down here, finding a mate is almost impossible. The ocean is vast, and these fish are spread so far apart that they might never encounter another of their kind. So evolution gave them a backup plan. They can fertilize their own eggs. It's lonely, it's isolated, but it works. This is the abyss, a place so extreme that survival means standing still, eating once or twice a year, and reproducing alone. It's harsh. It's alien. And somehow, life still finds a way. But there's one more zone. The deepest place on Earth. And the fish that live there are unlike anything we've seen so far. This is it. The deepest place on Earth. And the fish that live there are unlike anything we've seen so far. This is it. The Hadal Zone. Named after Hades, the ancient Greek underworld. This is the deepest part of the ocean. We're talking trenches that plunge over 10,000 meters down. The pressure here is so extreme that it would crush almost anything instantly. Over 15,000 pounds per square inch. A human body wouldn't stand a chance. Even most submarines can't go this deep. And yet, there's a fish down here. The snailfish. It holds the record as the deepest living fish ever recorded. Scientists found one at over 8,000 meters down. And when you look at it, you realize something. It doesn't look like a typical fish at all. The snailfish has no scales. Scales would crack under the pressure. It has no swim bladder. A swim bladder would collapse immediately. Its entire body is soft and gelatinous, almost see-through. It looks fragile, but that's exactly what keeps it alive. The soft tissue can withstand the crushing force because there's nothing rigid to break. It's like the difference between squeezing a water balloon and squeezing a glass bottle. The balloon survives, but surviving down here means giving up almost everything. The snailfish has no advanced sensory organs, no complex eyes, no elaborate defenses. Evolution stripped it down to the bare minimum. Just enough to exist. Just enough to find food. Just enough to reproduce. It's survival through simplicity. And in the most extreme environment on Earth, simple is what works. Think about that for a second. To live at the very bottom of the ocean, this fish had to sacrifice almost everything that makes a fish recognizable. No color, no armor, no speed. Just a blob of translucent tissue drifting in eternal darkness under unimaginable pressure. It's the ultimate price of survival. This is the Hadal Zone. The final frontier. The absolute limit of where vertebrate life can exist. And the creatures here prove that life doesn't need to be complex to endure. Sometimes, it just needs to be willing to let go of everything else. So we've made it. From the surface all the way down to the deepest trenches on Earth. And along the way, we've seen fish that look like monsters but are actually masterpieces of evolution. Every horrifying feature, every nightmare detail exists because it has to. Because down there, looking creepy isn't a choice, it's survival. But here's what really gets me. Imagine being a snailfish. You live in total darkness. The pressure is trying to crush you every second of your life. You might go months without eating. You'll probably never see another member of your species. And if you do, you might not even recognize them. There's no coral to hide in. No sunlight to wake up to. Just cold, empty blackness, stretching forever in every direction. From a human perspective, that sounds like insanity. It sounds like loneliness turned into a lifetime. But to the snailfish, that's just normal. That's home. And maybe that's the most unsettling thing about the deep ocean. It's not that these creatures look scary. It's that they're perfectly fine living in a place that would break us mentally in minutes. We spent this whole video calling these fish creepy, and they are. But they're also survivors in the truest sense. They've adapted to conditions we can barely imagine. They've carved out existence in a world that seems designed to kill everything, and they've been doing it for millions of years. So yeah, deep-sea fish are weird. They're unsettling. They're the stuff of nightmares. But they're also proof that life is tougher and stranger than we ever give it credit for. Thank you for being here. If this message made you think, feel, or see things differently, don't let it end here. Subscribe and join us for more stories, ideas, and moments that challenge the way you see the world. Thank you.